annals of the Joseon Dynasty, few deaths remain as shrouded in mystery as that of Queen Jeongseong. On the surface, her passing in 1757 appeared natural, a quiet departure, recorded with the formalities befitting a queen. But beneath the surface, the corridors of power whispered secrets, rumors that refused to die. Was her death merely the result of age and stress? Or was it a carefully orchestrated act, concealed behind silks and etiquette, designed to shift the balance of the throne? Tonight, the Court of the Crane seeks to pierce the shadows. We explored not only the moment of her death, but the life she led, the choices she was forced to make, and the delicate balance of influence she maintained in a court filled with ambition, fear, and intrigue. Her story is not just about death. It is about survival under impossible scrutiny, about the weight of expectation on those born to lead, and about the secrets whispered behind palace walls. Born in 1693, So Jeongseong was the daughter of So Jong-jae and Lady Yi. From an early age, she displayed poise and intelligence, qualities that would later define her time as queen. In 1703, at just 10 years old, she married Prince Yeonning, who would eventually ascend the throne as King Yeongjo. As his consort, she was expected to embody grace, virtue, and absolute adherence to palace protocol. And she did so with remarkable skill. Queen Jeongseong's influence in the court extended beyond ceremonial duties. She advised the king discreetly on matters of governance, mediated disputes among ministers, and upheld the moral and ritualistic standards of the royal household. Her voice, though measured, was respected, and her counsel was sought in both family and political matters. Her life, however, was far from easy. King Yeongjo, despite his brilliance and administrative skill, could be distant and demanding. Factionalism within the court meant that every action, every word of the queen, was scrutinized for potential political implications. Ministers sought to curry favor, rival clans watched for weakness, and the stability of the throne rested in part on her ability to maintain harmony and decorum. Daily life was regimented. Rituals, ceremonies, inspections, and education of royal heirs filled her schedule. Even small missteps could have consequences, and yet she moved with grace, balancing power, propriety, and her own humanity. Some historians suggest that it was this delicate navigation, a life spent managing both family and empire, protecting the throne while preserving her own dignity, that made her a target for speculation when her death came unexpectedly. The very skills that allowed her to survive in the palace may have also made her death more enigmatic, raising questions that persist to this day. Queen Jeongseong's life, though often overshadowed by the tragedy of her passing, reflects the challenges faced by women of influence in Joseon. Lives lived in public scrutiny, decisions weighed with political consequence, and the constant tension between duty and desire. In early 1757, Queen Jeongseong fell ill. The symptoms were sudden, alarming, and unexplained. Physicians were summoned from across the kingdom, yet their remedies failed to halt her decline. The queen, who had long carried the burdens of etiquette, diplomacy, and maternal expectation, seemed to fade under invisible hands. Courtiers whispered, was this illness natural, the culmination of stress, age, and palace strain? Or was it something far darker? An act of poison, a plot, hidden in plain sight? The palace, usually orderly and ceremonial, became a stage of uncertainty. Ministers cast furtive glances. Physicians exchanged worried notes. Even King Yeongjo, renowned for his calm intellect, faced a personal crisis he could neither control nor predict. On March 23, 1757, Queen Jeongseong passed away at Cheongdeok Palace. Official records attribute her death to natural causes. Full honors were observed, mourning rituals conducted with precision and reverence. Yet the timing, the abruptness, the layers of secrecy surrounding her final days left unanswered questions. Her passing was recorded, yes, but understood by few. For the court, it was a moment of mourning. For historians and whispered legends, it became a puzzle. Who, if anyone, might have shaped her fate? Several theories swirl around Queen Jeongseong's death, each offering shadows of explanation. Some say her death was no accident, that poison flowed unseen, quietly, through a cup or meal. The Joseon court was a web of ambition and rivalry, where ministers maneuvered, alliances shifted, and the throne itself was never safe. Could it have been a calculated strike? A faction seeking to destabilize King Yeongjo's reign, remove the queen's influence, or shift the balance of power? Supporters of this theory point to the sudden onset of her illness, the tense political climate, and hushed rumors that echo through court records, whispers of foul play that may never be confirmed. Others argue that her death was the culmination of relentless pressures, the weight of ceremony, the scrutiny of the court, and the chronic stress of royal life. Royal women were expected to endure endless obligations, maintain decorum, and uphold a lineage that demanded perfection. Malnutrition, fatigue, and psychological strain could have combined with illness to bring about her death. Sometimes, history's tragedies are not human in origin. They are imposed by the unyielding structure of power itself. And then, there's the most unsettling possibility: her own son, Crown Prince Sado. Known for violent outbursts, unpredictable moods, and eventual insanity, Sado's history casts a dark shadow over the queen's final days. Could he have played a role, intentionally or not, in her demise? Records are inconclusive. Some suggest his mental state may have caused inadvertent harm. Others hint at darker possibilities. The line between tragedy, madness, and murder blurs when the son of a queen becomes a figure of fear. Each theory holds weight. Each theory holds intrigue. And yet, for all the surviving records, no conclusive proof has emerged. Queen Jeongseong's death remains one of Joseon's most haunting enigmas, a story where power, fear, and fate converge, leaving only shadows. The death of Queen Jeongseong sent tremors through the Joseon court. Political factions, already restless, shifted and maneuvered in the sudden vacuum. Ministers who had relied on the queen's stabilizing influence now scrambled for leverage, while rival clans watched closely, sensing opportunity in the uncertainty. King Yeongjo himself was plunged into personal and political turmoil. The loss of a queen who had guided him with wisdom and discretion was more than a personal grief. It threatened the delicate balance of power in the palace. Court records from the time hint at his increased vigilance and suspicion, as though he feared that unseen forces might strike again. Crown Prince Sado, already troubled and known for violent outbursts and psychological instability, was profoundly affected. The sudden loss of his mother removed one of the few stabilizing presences in his life. Some historians suggest that her death contributed to his mental decline, deepening his paranoia and erratic behavior, and ultimately influencing the tragic events that would later unfold in his life. Beyond the palace, the queen's passing left a gap in the perception of royal authority. Queen Jeongseong had embodied grace, intelligence, and moral guidance. With her gone, the court and the kingdom lost not only a figurehead, but a moral compass, leaving the dynasty more vulnerable to the undercurrents of fear, ambition, and factional intrigue. Her death became a symbol of both the fragility and the cruelty inherent in palace life, a reminder that even those closest to power are not immune to its dangers. Queen Jeongseong's life was a testament to grace under pressure, a balancing act performed in the shadows of ambition and secrecy. Her death, whether by fate, malice, or madness, remains one of the most enigmatic moments in Joseon history. As the Court of the Crane closes its book on this case, we are reminded that history is never static. Power, influence, and human frailty converge in ways that leave echoes centuries later. Some mysteries will never be fully unraveled, their truths hidden in whispers, documents, and the corridors of old palaces. If tonight's journey into the past captivated you, remember to subscribe and like. The Court of the Crane continues to bring these hidden histories to life, one story at a time. And remember, in the Court of the Crane, the past never truly sleeps. It waits, it lingers, and it speaks for those willing to listen.